All right, Buffalo. So we've got some exciting news, I guess you could say. New general manager here for the Buffalo Sabres, Jarmo Kekalainen, announced here at the press conference. Let's take a listen.
Humbled to be the general manager of the Buffalo Sabres. In this time that I've spent here, and I've spent the most of the fall in Buffalo already, I've seen the passion of the hockey fans in this city, and it's great. I love the game of hockey. That's the reason why I've been in hockey all my life, whether it was as a player or as a scout or as a manager. I've been part of the NHL teams for 30 years now, and I wouldn't change a day. It's been great, but to see the passion of the fans here is something that actually reminds me a little bit of my home country, Finland, because with the 5.5 million people that we have, hockey is by far the biggest sport, and there's a lot of passion for it.
Okay, so we've got a guy here who's he's passionate about the sport of hockey. Of course, that would be like a minimum requirement, right? It's the basic day one requirement. Guys from Finland, they love their hockey over there, I guess. They got about, 5.5 million people, he said. So, all right, so he's a hockey guy. He spent his life in hockey. Let's see what else he has to say.
So thank you, Pagula family, for bringing me here as the new GM. I appreciate it. I also want to thank Kevin Adams for everything that he did for the Buffalo Sabres. He poured his heart and soul into this organization. I witnessed it every day here. And he brought in a lot of talent, a lot of skill into this team, and you could see that on the ice. So we can't thank him enough.
Yeah, listen, no disrespect to Kevin Adams, but I wouldn't say that he poured his heart and soul into anything. He played it safe, is what he did, right? I mean, he did a good job with the Eichel trade, at least. I mean, what did we really get out of the Eichel trade that you can think of here? I mean, it's Alex Tuck, who could potentially leave this year in free agency, and it's Peyton Krebs. You know, I can't really think of much more that we got out of the Eichel trade. You know, as far as any other deals that he did throughout the years, he played it safe. You know, he didn't take any risk. You know, no risk it, no biscuit, right? I mean, that's the famous NFL football coaches saying, Bruce Arians, I believe, right? So no risk it, no biscuit. And that's Kevin Adams, right? No biscuit. You're out. You're done. You played it safe. You were complacent. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the philosophy of being in McDermott, and just follow me for a minute as I track with me here for a minute. They got this philosophy of like, well, we didn't get run out of the gym. You know, we didn't get blown out, right? We got to win now. We got to win in the future. It's a very complacent. You never really see Bean and McDermott kind of push all in for the Super Bowl, for the ring. They kind of just, they play it very conservative. They play it very safe. And Kevin Adams was even worse in that regard. Never made any moves, never took any risks, and frankly didn't deserve to be a GM. I'm glad that he's gone.
He's a great hockey guy, but he's also a better person. And that's one of the reasons why I came here, because at this stage of my career, I really want to work with good people, and he's a great one of the real good guys that I've met through my years in the business. The one other thing that I wanted to say before I let you get to questions is that, when I came here, one of the reasons was that I really believed in the skill and the talent on this team. But I define the talent a little bit differently, so that's going to be the focus on moving forward. I think character is the biggest part of talent. I think that the competitiveness, the relentless work ethic that you have, whether it's on the ice for practice or in the gym, that's the talent that we need to focus on. And
look, I like that. That's standard, I don't know, coach speak, GM speak, competitiveness, this type of thing, not getting outworked. The bottom line is, for the past 4 or 5 or 6 years, the Sabres have been kind of known for being a very, very young team. And that's okay. But what also comes with being young is a lack of toughness, a lack of heart, a lack of experience. And there's some times when I would watch the Sabres, like a fan with the best hope of them finally being good one year. They're getting pushed around. A lot of times it looks like it looks like a team of boys playing against a team of men. You know, in my family, we're all Sabres fans. We joke around. We say, you know, the Sabres, they need to get a few more guys that have a beard, for God's sakes. You know, you see these guys, they're always pushing around our team. How many times I've seen, you know, Dahlin, for example, one game comes to mind. They play on the road in Carolina a couple years ago, and he gets completely punked. He gets sucker punched in the face, and what happens? Nothing. No response, nothing. Just status quo, game as usual. Look, Dahlin's the best player on our team, and he's the captain. He's one of the best body checkers, most physical hitters on the team. But you let someone punk your captain, you let him sucker punch him in the face with his glove on, and you do nothing, there's no response. Like, there's no physicality. And I don't care what anybody says, that's part of the game. Look, when I'm growing up and watching the Sabres, Matthew Barnaby comes to mind. Guy's getting his teeth knocked out in fights. Guy's as scrappy as it comes. He's instigating players and drawing penalties. Come on, Lindy. You remember who the rat was. You remember who Barnaby was. Matthew Barnaby. When I'm growing up, come on, I'm watching Brad May. Knock dudes out, punch dudes, physical, Rob Ray. Come on. You need guys that battle. You know, your third and fourth line, you do not need to be able to roll 4 lines of talent and youth onto the ice. But you do need at least one line that you can roll out there where when a team crosses the line, you roll that line out there and you show them what's up. You start something, you instigate something, you finish something, you check something, you hit something. You move guys out from in front of the net. You know, I'm forever looking at a team that drafts talent like, you know, look, I'm going to call it out. Owen Power? What the hell? For all the size and the height he has, where the hell is his physicality? Can that guy grow a beard, for God's sakes? I mean, he is useless. The guy, okay, he's got some offensive talent. We have Dahlin. At best, he's a lesser version of Dahlin at best at his peak. You could move Owen Power right now and get a package of people, but do you know who the right people are? The guys that are physical, the guys that are big, the guys that stay home and block shots, the guys that do the dirty work, the guys that can drop their gloves and fist fight, the guys that have a beard.
There's been games this year where we looked like it was going to be easy and we lost because we got outworked. That's unacceptable. And that's going to be something that we're going to focus on every day here, each and every day, because the talent, the skill alone is not going to get you the wins in this league. Every team's too good. So you got to work, you got to compete, you got to be relentless. And that's what I want the identity of the Buffalo Sabres to be. And that's where we want to be proud of that type of identity moving forward.
You got weak players, though. You're right. You got skill, but you've got weak, soft players.
Focal point will
soft.
be character. And
I noticed nobody calls it out, but you're soft.
I'd be happy to answer.
That's what your team is. It's soft.
Congratulations on being appointed to GM. So, in particular, how do you want to make this team and this organization competitive? What needs to be done? Do you have a 5-point plan or something similar?
I have a plan. Obviously, I'm just day
do you
one
have
right
a
now,
5-point plan?
There's a lot of things that.
Come on. What kind of question is this? Do you have a 5-point plan? Why don't you just ask the obvious question? Do you know what the biggest flaw or the biggest problem of the Buffalo Sabres is? Just ask him. And if he doesn't know and he can't name it, he can't call it, you're soft, bro. You're soft. Your entire squad front to back is soft. You even the trade, I like the move to trade Cousins to take the chance on the upside of Norris. He's soft. I mean, the guy is literally fragile. He cannot be physical. He's fragile. I like the skill set, but he's fragile and he's soft. And the entire team is soft.
We need to look at a lot of things we need to analyze, whether it's the staff. We got a lot of good people in place, a lot of experienced people in place. If we need to add something, we'll do so.
Jarmo, Sean Warren with the AP. Condolences on your dad.
Thank you.
You spoke about character. For all the skill that this team has, as you talked about, how do you turn around a franchise and a team that hasn't known winning for such a long time with players who haven't known what it takes to get there?
Buddy, come on. I like the question. I appreciate the condolences and everything. How do you turn around a team it's not about knowing how to win. right? Part of it is competitiveness. Part of it is a learned experience. I know how to win, air quotes. The team is soft, bro. Somebody in the media, please ask these people in public, do you know that your team is soft? And when I mean soft, I mean weak. I mean they get punked. They do not push. You watch the Florida Panthers? Bro, the Florida Panthers, their forwards go in physically into the zone, and they take the forecheck to the defense of the opposing team, and they push them to the limits. That's how they've won the cup the past couple of years. Kachuk is literally a badass. He will fight anyone. He will knock anyone out. He will check. Did you see the year they lose to the Las Vegas Knights in the Stanley Cup Finals? Do you see the hit that he put on Eichel? I thought they were going to put Eichel. I thought they were going to take him out in an ambulance. He hit him so hard. Our team is soft. They're soft. They're punks. They're young. They're soft.
Well, the one thing we talked about when I talked to the team is that it's not their fault, the 14 years that people keep talking about. We're going to focus on today. What can we do today to get better?
Yeah, sure. 14 years, it's not their fault. How many years has Dahlin been here? How many years has Tuck been here? How many years has Thompson been here? It's starting to be their fault. And they're soft. They're weak.
Whether it's on individual level or as a team. And we're going to focus on today. We don't even want to look too much into the future. We got a lot of hockey left this year. I think we can do special things with this team.
Just as a follow-up, how do you build character?
It's the standard set by the leaders on the team. They're not going to accept anything less. They're going to lead by example, show the standard every day, and then they can demand it from everybody else around them.
All right, I'm going to call bullshit again. Look, this is a low testosterone team. These guys are soft. They're not physical enough. Nobody is afraid of them. They get punked. They're weak.
You've been with Lindy Ruff now all season long. What is your thoughts on Lindy and the coaching staff moving forward?
Well, Lindy's resume speaks for itself. He's been a great coach in the league for a long time. I've really enjoyed my interaction with him day to day. He works his
We love Lindy.
Tail off every day. He's
Absolutely.
early. He's watching tape. He's analyzing.
We love Lindy. Lindy's not the problem.
Talking to the players. He's got a good line of communication with them, and he's looking for ways to get better. So I've really enjoyed my time so far with Lindy.
So does that mean there's no changes in the coaching staff?
We're going to evaluate everything moving
We
forward.
like
whether
Lindy.
it's
You
the
don't need to
scouting
get
staff,
rid of Lindy
management,
unless
coaches.
Lindy wants to go.
Everybody is under evaluation at this point, but there are a lot of good people here that are great at their jobs.
What, at this point, can you say about the situation regarding Alex Tuck? It seems to have kind of ground to a halt here, and it's hanging over this club and this locker room, whether this team is going to extend him, move him. What can you do to help get that process?
I got to be honest, I love Tuck. He's good for morale, but right now he has peak value. Look, I would trade this guy at the deadline and get a haul for him. Trade him to somebody that wants to make a push to either make the playoffs or make a run in the playoffs. I love Alex Tuck. He's a great team player, no doubt about it. Sometimes he's injured and can't play. That happens with everybody. It seems to be a little bit more consistent with guys like Alex Tuck and with Greenway. Greenway's another guy for me, like him, but, go ahead. You can get rid of Greenway. I would move Alex Tuck, get someone physical. We want tough, physical guys that are hard to play against. Forecheck, back check, paycheck. I think I heard that on the old Instigators show on WGR News Radio 55. Forecheck, back check, paycheck. And that's what you should be looking for.
Going.
I'll take charge of that situation now. I'll talk to his representatives. It always takes two parties to agree on a number that both feel that it's reasonable and not just for today, but moving forward, what you have to build with your team. Alex is a really good hockey player. We appreciate him. We like him. We want to get him signed. I think that's been clear the whole time. Now we just have to agree on a number that works for both sides.
Jarmo, what is the biggest challenge that you immediately face as general manager of the Sabres?
Oh, there's challenges every day in this job. My saying is always.
See, this is what I'm talking about. There's challenges every day in this. You're soft, bro. Your team is soft. You're weak. You do not physically intimidate or barely even physically match up with most teams. You're soft.
Always, that there's never a dull day as a general manager of a team. When you think that you have a calm day, something's going to happen, and then that's going to change. But I want to get to know everybody even better than I do now. I think I have a really good head start because I've been here so much and getting to know in a different role. I was able to have some talks with individuals, players, staff, so to get to know them. So I think I have a really good head start and on having a good understanding of what we need to do next to get to the next level. But I'm going to also take some time here to get all my thoughts together, gather more information, and think about a plan that we need to get into work right now.
You spoke to it a little bit, but just what makes this an attractive job for you, I guess, in your own words?
Well, I talked about...
It's another stupid question from the media. What makes this an attractive job? What is there, 30 hockey teams? I mean, to be one of 30 or one of 32 general managers in the National Hockey League, that's what it is. He's the general manager of a sports franchise. It's a stupid question. Okay, that's just a dumb question. The Buffalo media needs to do better.
The talent. I think that you always need the obvious talent that everybody sees on the ice. And that's there. We have goal scorers, we have size, we have playmakers, we have
soft.
I think one of the best deep cores in the league as far as the talent
you
goes.
Get pushed around when push comes to shove. You can't
there's
play
a lot
playoff
of great
hockey.
things. We've gotten good goaltending this year too. I don't think that there's any excuses in some of the games that we've lost where we've been outworked. Goalies have given us a chance to win every game. You can always improve on each and every area, but I think that there's a lot of really good building blocks here, and that's what makes me excited.
Well, you've been here long enough to probably get a feel for the roster and the talent. How close do you think this team is to being a competitive, playoff type team?
Yeah, I think we're close. I think it takes a little bit growth from the young players, experience.
Yes, I will agree 100%. We are very close to being a playoff team, and we have been for at least 3 years. We are very close. What we're missing is an element of physicality. Look, let's say, for example, the year we missed the playoffs by 1 point, the Panthers got into the playoffs ahead of us by 1 point. They made it to Stanley Cup Finals. They lost to Las Vegas. If we would have been the ones to make it into playoffs that year, we would have lost in the first round. Our team doesn't have the physicality when push comes to shove, when the game tightens up and it's physical, it's in the corners, it's the battles, it's the physicality, it's standing up and clearing the front of the net, it's having the guts to stand up when someone punks your captain and punches them in the face with his glove on. Like when things like that happen, when you're getting pushed around and getting punked, and don't tell me anyone that knows hockey, there's an element of the game that's about that. It's like you're setting the tone of the game, and when that tone's being set, we have no answer for it.
It's always good. I always say from the draft that it could take 5 to 8 years before those players can make an impact in the NHL. Because
absolutely, I would agree with that 100%. Look, the NHL is 100% different than the NFL. When you draft in the NHL, you'll be lucky if that kid's making a contribution in, like he said, 7 to 8 years. So look, you get a high draft choice, you got talent in the pipeline, I would use those as bargaining chips. They may have some great future potential, you think, you hope, you don't know, because it's 6, 7, 8 years down the road. Maximize it. Move them in trades. Who cares about your pipeline? Get savvy veterans, guys that are 26, 27, 28, 30, 32 years old, guys that have physicality, guys that know the game of hockey and can contribute right now. So many games I've been watching for the Sabres past couple years, and I said this earlier, where I'm watching the game and I'm screaming at the TV. It's ridiculous. I feel like I'm watching a game. It's like boys versus men. It's young boys that we recently drafted to play for the Buffalo Sabres that probably should be in minor league systems developing for years to come, playing against teams with men on it, playoff teams. You could see the differences night and day. It's like, geez, we're one of the youngest teams in hockey, and we seem to wear that as a badge of honor. But we're weak, we're soft, we get pushed around, and a lot of times it looks like I'm watching a game of boys, college-age boys, playing against NHL men. And this has really been the case ever since Jack Eichel. Because that's when the standard got started. Jack was so good, so young. And look, When you have a superstar, so good, so young, fine, play him. No problem with that. There's some guys right now that actually play for the Sabres that are very young, and I admire them. They're very talented. But you have to have the right mix. You have to mix them in with veteran guys that are even journeyman guys 25 to 35 years old that are on the team. You can't just be the youngest team in hockey.
I mean, you see now that it can be even a little bit more of a young player's game, but it's all individual. Every individual has to develop at their own rate and own pace. You can have the fast forward button even if you'd like to sometime. You need to just let them take their time to get comfortable, confident in this league, and they can then make an impact. But I think there are a lot of good pieces here. I think we're very close. I firmly believe we can make the playoffs this year. There's a lot of hockey left.
Look, we're going to end it on that note. He firmly believes we can make the playoffs this year. I doubt it. It's a long shot. I mean, unless we can go on a couple of runs where we win 6 to 8 to 10 games in a row, it's a long shot. I don't see the playoffs this year. Personally, I feel like from this point on, any GM, if you miss the playoffs 2 years in a row, you're fired. You need to make moves. You need to act with urgency. I think he's right. We do have a lot of talent, and we are very close, and we have been very close for a couple of years. He doesn't seem to know that we're soft, that we're weak, that we get pushed around, that we can't set the physicality and the tone of the game. And in fact, we can't even answer that bell when it's brought to us. And I'm sick and damn tired of watching it. I've been a hockey fan my entire life. Come on, when I grow up, I'm listening to Rick Jeanneret. I'm falling asleep at night as a kid before I wake up for school the next day, listening to Rick Jeanneret call a game, 7:30 game that goes till 10, 11 at night. I'm falling asleep by the radio at night, listening to Rick Jeanneret, la 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 Fontaine on the power play. Come on, man. You Alexander the Great. Come on, man. I grew up listening to Rick Jeanneret. I grew up watching Rob Ray and Brad May, Dominic Hasek. Bro, one of the greatest games I ever went to as a kid was the game where Dominic Hasek and Martin Brodeur had that goalie battle. I was just a kid. I mean, a playoff game, 3 periods of shutout hockey before 3 periods of overtime shutout hockey before a goal at like 2 a.m. in the morning. It was unbelievable. Listen, I watched all these great players growing up. I watched playoff teams. I saw the upset against the Bruins when we had a 4-game sweep. Mayday! 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 It was crazy. Rick Jeanneret was on the call. I mean, he was a hero of mine growing up. And now hockey's become a joke. And it's like we don't remember what it took. We don't remember Rob Ray. Come on. We don't remember Brad May. Brad May, if he got 10 goals a year, we were lucky, but we loved him because he was physical and he could knock your face out with a fist. He could defend the better players like Rob Ray could. We remember Matthew Barnaby, scrappy, man. That kid would fight anybody. He wasn't necessarily the best fighter like Rob Ray and Brad May. Matthew Barnaby would fight anybody. He had heart. He stood up. You had to account for him. He was a problem for the other team. He would instigate the other team into taking bad penalties. I remember seeing his teeth get knocked out in one game. I mean, come on. What are we doing? Our team is soft. Our team is weak. And anybody that says that the game has changed and it's moved on and it's all skill, those are the same people that'll tell you, look, yeah, it's a young man's game now. Yeah, you can roll out the youngest team in hockey. And then I'm sitting here watching, I got the damn ESPN Plus to watch the Sabres, and I'm watching a team full of boys going up against men. And they're weak, and they're soft, Sometimes it's a joke, and that's why we're on a 14-year playoff drought, in my opinion. You could trade a guy like Alex Tuch and get a haul. Great, he's good for morale. You know who else is good for morale? A quality head coach, and we have one. He's a leader. You could trade Alex Tuch and get a haul. You could trade Owen Power. Look, we didn't need another... Tell me the truth right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rank our defense? I personally would rank our defense at like a 3 or a 4. And we have 2 first overall draft picks. Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power. Trade Owen Power. Get a haul for him. Get the best goalie in hockey and whatever else you can get with him. Trade Owen Power right now. Get anything you can get for him. You could get a haul for him. And start to get some physicality on this team. All right, guys, I'm out.
The goal